So we've decided to kind of flip the classroom here a little bit more and more. I know we knew that we do this as it is, but we're going to do a little bit of less ISU, I show you, which is usually now going to be stuff that you're going to do outside of school and focus more on what you can show me during class. So here are your expectations for week 15 and 16 and 17. Like I said, a little less I show you, a little more you show me, and a lot of CD for you, a lot of collaboration and demonstration for understanding in our physical and in our digital space outside. So we're going to kind of refine our digital routine, get all of our Web 2.0 resources put together, utilize our digital textbook in the study space more efficiently, and really dig into our music theory, drill, and practice software. So where are you going to demonstrate your understanding? Well, it's got to be in our collaborative space. So when we log in every day, we make part of our routine to get into telepresence, to get into DCO, to get on our digital synthesizers and talk to each other in this collaborative space. Just for a reminder, your study space materials here for chapter 12, hyperlinked on this slide. You can, of course, stop and start me anytime you want. There at the study space, ebook, quiz, flashcards, listening examples, and I'll give you some Sibelius worksheets as well. So in this chapter, we're talking about the SATB, that is the four-voice style in the basic phrase. The basic paragraphs of music made up of musical sentences. Music in four parts. We'll learn about the basic phrase model and the role of tonic. So what is the SATB model? Well, when we write for four voices, a good example to maybe start with, if you can pause and go to your study space, is this example of My Country 'Tis of Thee. Even learn to sing it and play it if you want, but the key concept is looking for the directions of stems in the particular clefs so you know what part sings. First thing you got to know, with four voices, obviously one note's going to be doubled in a four-part texture. So don't double those tendency tones. Double the root in root positions. In first inversions, don't double tendency tones. Second inversions, always double the bass. So what are the parts of the phrase? Well, remember in this musical sentence, we almost always have a tonic area, that which reemphasizes the key note. In this example of Beethoven, we're in D minor. In the Bach below, E flat major, and we reside just going over and over and re-emphasizing. Sometimes the phrase expands to include the dominant area, that is note number 5 in any particular key. Sometimes if you end a phrase with being on the dominant, it's like ending a phrase with a comma instead of an emphatic period. When you land on the dominant, maybe it sounds unfinished. So you got to be prepared to discuss what means you can expand the tonic area, how you can, maybe even demonstrate that yourself by embellishing tones, repetition, or going in and out of inversions. Again, let's reemphasize this musical punctuation type. Sometimes when we come to the ends of musical cadences in phrases, we end with periods, or even exclamation points, those authentic cadences. Play these, listen to the examples from your book itself. Now sometimes, though, we expand the tonic and end on a dominant. It's not really finished. So how do they differ in examples? Can you demonstrate it? Just listen to this in your digital book and tell me in class what the differences are. So the 4-1-1 of cadences in a nutshell. Half cadences end on dominant. Imperfect authentic cadences end on tonic, but a little weaker because bass and soprano aren't the same. And the strongest phrase will include bass and soprano being the same. Ask yourself, can I demonstrate my ability to hear them, read them, write them, sing them, play them? You tell. So, when you do your terms and definitions, the T&D this time, think of it again as a narrative summary. And make sure you cover all these terms, and maybe even page numbers if you want, but in the form of a narrative, and tell me a story about these terms, making them come to life. Got to make connections with the content we reflect on. So, answer these questions, use your own repertoire whenever possible, and take your time with this, because you got to be sure you're solid with the concepts and how they connect with other concepts. Here's our timeline for the next couple of weeks. We got a pre-quiz on the 8th. We can come to one of 2 seminars listed there. Be on time to class. Due dates for your T&D, Q4R. We'll get the drill and practice going up. I'll give you some music sheets, and we'll do a post-test on the 17th. Well, there are a lot of evaluations and expectations in Chapter 12. We're going to have you take your pre-quiz right off the bat for Chapter 12. We're going to make sure that you show up on time to classes and get your T&D, your Q4R turned in on time. We're going to give you a chance to demonstrate your understanding once during this chapter in class. Lots of drill and practice. You're going to do lots of tryouts found in the chapter. I'll give you a couple of Sibelius sheets. Make sure you're on time, and at the end of this chapter, we'll take a pretty heavily weighted post-test. And then there are the numbers. So that, AP Music Theory friends, is your mission. If you choose to accept, it will now self-destruct in 5 seconds. Good luck.